Okay, so these don't help with autistic employment in my scenario, even though they say they do. So that seems to be a bit of a tautology or a contradiction, because they're saying they're helping autistic employment, and then here's me, and then there's no help. And some of these groups I have emailed multiple times and been ignored multiple times, so I would like them to stop saying that they help with the autistic employment. But normal culture's not going to stop telling fibs, so whatever. I'm just pointing out that these aren't no help from any of them. But anyway, so the ones that I've emailed is, depends, North America or England, what you want to call it, college or the other. I don't really care. Call it what you want. But emailed them. They didn't ignore, they just said no, so clearly not going to help, even though say they help. So this double bind sort of situation where they pretend they help but they don't. Classic normal culture, really. Then there's the services building in my hometown. Help with bus pass, do not help with employment. Those ones ignoring multiple times. Can't remember the name of the website. It's not that name of the website. It's their group, but it's not the name of the website. They've ignored multiple times. Same there. And this one I haven't tried, so I don't know. But a couple of these groups do not help with autistic employment in my scenario, so they're just making things up. But that's whatever. It's called having your cake and eating it, which is again traditional normal culture. Let's move on then, and I think I'll try and stick to certain. So I'll just talk about Asperger's from the Inside Australia channel, although he did try and fit him in normal culture, which I think is very, very, very strange. But whatever. I'm not in his situation, so I'm not gonna say I know what being in that is like. But his video got a couple of his videos got millions upon millions of views. So all normal people seem to think they have it now, and the kids, and it's just that, again, having your cake and eating it. It's like you don't get to do that, but apparently you do. What else? So, right, I'll try and keep on. So on the same topic of employment is and the economic corruption in the West being really bad, but we have to keep ignoring it because of sheeple being not very intelligent or whatever. We have to keep ignoring it until Western civilization collapses. Even though their kids can't get jobs, and their kids 20s, 30s, late teens, whatever you want to call them. It's like the ignoring the ostrich technique is hurting them, but they're still doing it. So, but again, probably intelligence issues. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'm not going to pretend to understand normal culture because it's just completely off its head. But so creative and right-brained. I meant right-brained. Let me write with my wrong hand, my reverse hand. Right-brained, the alternative brain. Doesn't work like the 9 till 5 constant energy. It's not a marathon. You get a high burst of energy and then nothing for a while, and then another high random burst of energy. So it's not the 9 till 5 method that everything's based on. It's not how it works, even if you want to pretend it does or force it into a box. It just doesn't work that way. So, and also just commercial advertisements, marketing, pushing things on people. It's not going to be my technique. So if I get my first donation, then I suppose we can count that as a job, even if it's £5. I don't know, or 1 or 2 or 3, or I don't know, 50p. Technically, I suppose it counts as some kind of online job, but I'm not going to be able to do any of that. So there you go. Whatever. Yeah, getting a job, money, whatever. And those organisations at the start that I showed are not going to help, at least for now, at least for the meantime. So, well, pretending they do, because they want the double standard, of course, obviously. So, yeah, basically, the only way I get the job, I suppose, is a donation or something. I don't know. I'm not able to do all the marketing, just like I'm not able to be a 7'0" basketball player. I'm just not able to. So whatever, I either get the donations or whatever. I don't know. Patreon, I don't know. Got an account, no idea how to work it. So whatever. Really, it's out of my hands, up to God, or whatever you want to call it. I could just keep making videos and give advice. Let me find the paper. Where's the paper? Advice, trading information for donations, so it's not begging. Advice, Western philosophy. Here we go. So advice, autistic. So what's the channel called, Jonathan? So in John language. There we go. This is my wrong hand. I'm trying to be ambidextrous practice. There we go. So in John language, interracial relationship doesn't mean black and white. It means, in normal language it does, and I'm not talking about normal language, I'm talking about this language. So it just means, let's see, normal and autism relationship, mixed relationship, yeah, as opposed to a normal relationship, which would be double this, two normal people. I'm talking about a mixed. So in my language it means normal person, autistic person, which is what I would call this word in my language. That's what it means. A normal person and one autism person. And what's the advice? That and normal people means that. The advice is, what's the word? Don't, maybe ask them out first. Yeah, it's your choice, do what you want. As a North American girl who was normal, who went out with one, said they won't sweep you off your feet, but they can have hypergaming points in other ways, like being mystical or being very good at details, or I don't know. They're not going to have neurotypical HFA points, they're going to have different. So what she said, they're not going to do the big magical normal ceremony thing. It's not going to be like that. But maybe think about that if you're the normal person. Don't put up with tantrums and meltdowns if there's three all behaving. That goes for normal people too. They have their own version of behaving like kids, like when they get drunk and smash each other up. in town like it's WWE, but yeah, don't facilitate meltdowns in the relationship, because a lot of normal girls in the mixed, the normal AS relationship, a lot of the girls come from a codependent background. So don't put up with, because if you facilitate the meltdowns, like the sort of, if they behave like a 3-year-old child, then they get worse and worse and worse and worse, and it's not good. So best to just say don't do it straight away. Don't do it. Same goes for normal culture in the other direction if they're doing it, but don't. This is more advice to the normal person in the mixed relationship. IR is if there's meltdowns like a 3-year-old child kind of behaviour, then just don't facilitate it. It's not healthy for anyone. It doesn't mean you have to scream at people and whatever, but just try not to facilitate it. Just say no. That's what 3-year-olds do. We don't go down that road. So there's some advice there that can, what do they say? Trading information for duration. So that's work, right? What's the other word? Yeah, maybe consider, if you're the normal person, that, again, it's up to you. Normal culture's your culture. Do what you want. You're 99%. You can pretty much control all society, so you can call it whatever. Don't really have much sway when you're 1%. But yeah, consider that. They're not going to have, what's the word? Sweep you off your feet is not going to happen, but alternative HFA points can happen. Again, very, very strong skill at detail, very mysterious, very solitudinal. Yeah, alternative HFA points, not normal people HFA points, hypergamia points. Okay, like confidence or bad boy or whatever. The normal neurotypical HFA points, hypergamic points, are not even relevant here. So again, the 2 points are probably the detail, skill, and the mysterious factor. Those are the 2 strongest H points in with the autism person. So change your mindset slightly if you want to be interested in them, and all move. As I say, maybe that means maybe. It doesn't mean 100%, but if you feel like you need to, maybe try and be the one who asks, and don't put up with 3-year-old tantrums. Again, it doesn't mean you have to go to war, but it just means a healthy middle ground. That just try not to facilitate or put up with them. What would be the other thing for relationship advice for the normal girl? Don't what's the word? What's the word? Solipsism. Solipsism. Normal culture's arrogance. Don't assume that normal language is the only language that exists in the world, because that is a problem. Okay. It's a silly language anyway, but yeah. So try and speak 50-50 each language, normal language and the other. Yeah, not just 100% normal language, because that's not a compromise and that's not fair. Yeah, try and meet in the middle. And the same here, if it's because inside the house it can be like that. It can be 100% the other way, and that's very unhealthy. Try and speak each other's language, which can be incredibly difficult, because it's almost like aliens from another planet. But yeah, try not to have a bias in either way. But again, whether it's even possible, I don't know, because it is literally alien cultures. Because normal language is mostly 90% non-verbal, and brackets and dots and coded encryption meanings, whereas the autistic language would say this is a pen. Normal language would say this is a rhinoceros. Well, it's clearly not, but in normal language there's always a bracket and always a code meaning, a double, whereas it's linear meaning in autistic language. So, I mean, if I could advise with the normal culture, try not to do these cryptid bracketed code words. Just say what the thing is. If it's a piece of paper, it's a piece of paper. If it's a laptop, it's a laptop. If it's a bed, it's a bed. If it's a toy, it's a toy. Just say the thing what it is. I don't understand it's hard, but I suppose in all culture it is almost painful to be direct, and to just call the thing what it is. So that's the advice. Don't put the IR in my language means one normal, one autism person, mixed relationship, as opposed to a double normal or a normal people relationship where both the people are normal. And normal means NT, and yes, for the advice here, maybe consider this. Also, don't put up with the 3-year-old tantrums. Again, it doesn't mean you scream at people and go to war, but just I don't know, call it out in a sort of compromised way, in a 50-50 way, in a way that's not screaming at people going ballistic, but just saying, no, I don't put up with 3-year-old behaviour, without going to war, because that's not healthy either. But what do they say? Fair but firm. There's the energy you need. So that's the advice for the normal girl, or whatever. If anyone cares, if they don't, whatever. What can I talk about? Relationship advice. Well, I think I've done all I need to do. I can do another video on that one day, but that's all I need to do for now. Is that probably try and make the first advance or whatever, because they might not. Again, it's up to you. Do what you want. It's your culture. You're got the bulk numbers, so you pretty much rule society. So do what you want, but it might be an idea to. And also, don't put up with 3-year-old behaviour in any direction. And what's the other word? Oh, accept alternative hypergamy points from the boy. Don't impose neurotypical H word points on the guy, because they're not going to be able to achieve that. So accept alternative, like if the shop was out of Pepsi and you accepted Coca-Cola, or some kind of, you accept some kind of equivalent currency, because the standard currency is not available. So you accept an equivalent, what would you call a substitute? You accept a substitute, a bit like, say, in sport where you have a substitute player. You accept a substitute of equal value, because the standard one is not available. Again, this is not advice for double normal people, for a normal people relationship. It's advice for a mixed one, IR, in this language. One autism or normal person relationship. The advice is for that. It's not for two normal people. That's a completely different advice. You can watch Wingman for that, and there's thousands of channels on normal people advice for relationship, and tons of advice, very small advice on this kind of stuff. So this is the advice I'm giving. What else can I go on? I could just talk about. Do I talk more about economic corruption, not being able to afford anything? Could I talk about renting out a bicycle camper van if I built one? But again, I'm no ability to market things. I could rent out the shed if I had somewhere else to store the stuff. Again, no idea how to market it, no idea where to put it. Basically, with the capitalism, with the C word, you need to invest money to make money. You need to have a step to get ahead, like on the ladder. So if you've got nothing, you can't make anything. So, and I've got hardly much really, so very hard. So yeah, and don't know how to work Patreon, and don't know how to do marketing and commercial and advertisement and capitalism. My brain is wired for right-brained creativity, not this very rigid in the box, left-brained, very 9 to 5 kind of stuff, very rigid stuff. Not able to do it. Very good at that, very not able on that. So, if I get, again, first donation, that's some kind of a job. If you watch normal people, like for example, if you watch Rosalie Healing or New Life Tools or anyone, they are very smart in their field. They are very good, just generally normal people are very good at marketing because they can talk normal language. So they will say, I've got 39% off, XYZ or whatever, I'm not going to know how to do that. I can talk about HEMA, I can talk about Dusac swords or single-edged swords or WMA, Western Martial Arts. I can talk about TWC, traditional Western culture. Talk about the quantum physics of ghosts. I can talk about Aztec Codex, Aztec Pyramid. I can talk about a million stuff, but I can't do that very rigid in the box, left-brained kind of stuff. Just can't. So that's up to anyone what they want to do. What else? I think I won't go on thousands of things. I'll maybe if we do 25 minutes on this one, so maybe I talk just finally about I'll do another video on Western philosophy, a separate video. So this is just my brain map and the systematic thinking. So I've done a different one about a spidergram, but this is another way of showing it, a bit like an old film movie reels from like the 1900s. So it's like square panels, like a poster. Yeah, like again, like the codex, Mesoamerican codex or something. So the brain has Nogi Ludo, WMA and HEMA, metaphysics, codexes, for example, codices, Spanish conquistadorian records of Mesoamerican colony, what's the word, colony setup in the 1500s, early European, say, if you want to call it, record of Mesoamerica, codices by, for example, Spanish friars or the like, or Portuguese friars or whatever. And so, so let's recap. So, Nogi Ludo, WMA and HEMA, metaphysics, Mesoamerican codex and codices, native and European accounts by both the native religions, pagans, whatever you want to call, and by also the Spanish friars and other people, maybe soldiers as well as that. So, yes, Nogi Ludo, WMA HEMA, metaphysics, codex, and codices. The quantum physics of ghosts, ghosts in bottles, normal people, which is a huge box that's too big to even draw on this page. Economic corruption and how we have to ignoring it with the ostrich technique but that's a part of normal people until it collapses. That's a box. What's another box in the systematic approach is relationship, person friend, which the normal NT word for person friend is partner, which is a stupid word, which is why I say person friend, because partner is a really stupid word. Sounds like someone you work with in a business school, where you wear a Western suit and tie. Partner is a silly word. So I say person friend to take the P out of the word, which is a stupid word, so there you go. Person friend. What else? Well, that box was metaphysics. That box was WMA and HEMA. That box was Nogi Ludo. This is metaphysics, really. I bought that from the WHS, and it's an English bookshop. I don't know what North America equivalent is. Barnes and Barney's and Knoble? I don't know, but in England, one of the shops we have is WHS. So. Yes, systematic approach. So metaphysics, e.g. the comic, Nogi Ludo, WMA, person friend, which is my word for partner, which is a better word in my autistic opinion. IMAO. There's an acronym for you can have. So IMO, the three-letter one. Three-letter one is an all people. Four-letter one is my invention. IMAO. In my autistic opinion, person friend is the better word to use. So yeah, the different boxes are the brain categories, and they can flow into each other with arrows, like a chemistry equation. You might have x plus y, and then the double arrow, the reversible arrow, x plus y equals z, or a plus b equals g, or something. Say a math formulae or a chemistry formulae. So it's here arrow, here arrow, 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 arrow. So, for example, you might have, here's an example, you might have double-edged Western swords, and then the common factor between that and single-edged is the fact that they are both swords. So you might have double-edged, arrow, single-edged, arrow, semi-double, if you want, or semi-single, or hybrid, so a third position or a third type of blade that's not, the first or the second, but like a hybrid. So you might have double-edged, single-edged, and then third style. Yeah, so A, B, C. So that's how they flow. So you find the linking factor. So one's double-edged, one's single-edged. The common factor, both swords. Or for another example, long blade, short sword. Well, again, they're both swords. So that's the linking factor. Long blade, short blade. Well, they're both swords. You can do it with martial arts. You say Western boxing, kickboxing, Thai boxing, and they all have punches in, as well as TKD, Taekwondo. They all have punches in. So you could say, you could find the thing and say, well, that flows into that, into that, into that. So they've got arrows. So I'll just show you an arrow so that you get the point. I'll do my reverse handwriting again with my other wrong hand so that I practice ambidextrous skills. It goes from here to here. And also you can have a reversible arrow like a chemistry formula. There to there. That one goes down. There. 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 So there to there to there, down. left, down, there to there, down, left. Systematic approach. And I'll do a full video on human rights violations. That would involve metaphysics as well, and the non-human overlord, or whatever you... Well, it's probably pointless to explain, because, again, normal cultures cannot accept truth for whatever reason, so yeah. The normal approach is, when in doubt, shout louder and louder and louder and drown the other person out, so even if they're true, just drown them out. And then you win in normal language, which is just bizarre, but whatever. So, yeah, we'll do a video on human rights violations. Also, human rights violations towards dogs as well as people, because dogs are people. So, yeah. So that's probably to wrap it up there. We'll just do a recap for 1.5 minutes, barely. The recap is very, very quickly just here. So, to recap on this one, not able to do it, totally reliant, so it's either donation, and I don't even know how I would accept it because I don't know how to work Patreon. I want to give people just like Nordic, what's his name, Norse Magic and Beliefs channel, who is he's a good normal person, wants to help people and wants to help TWC, traditional Western culture. He's good, and he did I think it was a academic degree in business, so he knows how to do all the marketing and commercialization. I don't know how to do it, and I don't really have the ableness to do it, so yeah. I don't even know. I'll give people information like relationship advice, or if you're a normal parent and with an autistic kid or whatever, I can try and give advice there. Try my best. I'm not the toppest expert ever, but I know above average knowledge, so I can try. So I'm not just, again, sitting on the floor begging. I'm trading. It's like a barter. I'm giving information for donation, so it's not a begging situation. It's more of a barter scenario. What was I going to say? Normal parent, autistic kid, normal girl, autistic guy, interracial relationship. In my language, not in normal language, so forget the normal definition of IR. I think that's about it. That's about what we are going to say. So, okay, next time is all good.